Good afternoon. Happy sunny Sunday from San Antonio, Texas. Just want to welcome you to my Sunday afternoon Facebook Live, and let me quickly introduce myself. Hi, Cindy. My name is Barbara Ragsdale, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I live in the San Antonio, Texas area. And I'm here every Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time in order to show you how to use Stampin' Up products for your handmade cards, your projects, your home decor items. And if you do scrapbooks, you can join me on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I can show you how to use Stampin' Up supplies to do your 12 by 12 scrapbook layouts. So, but if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, we are a paper crafting company, and we cater to all levels of crafters. So whatever your crafting needs are, whether you've never heard of Stampin' Up, maybe you've dibble-dabbled in it, or maybe even, hi Landa, or maybe even you're an avid crafter, we have everything you could possibly think of for your needs. And so if you struggle with color coordination, Stampin' Up has you covered with, hi Veronica, with lots of products that already coordinate. And we have 50 colors in our product line, and you'll see with some of the papers I'm going to show you today, you know, our designer series paper, cardstock, our blends, our markers, ribbon, accessories. We have a lot of products that coordinate with each other. So that kind of helps take the guesswork out of that. So if that's what you struggle with, that's what we're here to help you, and show you how to put these products together to make your handmade cards and projects and home decor items. So, but I do thank you for joining me this afternoon. For those of you that were looking for me Wednesday, we had power. So I'm in Texas, so we were smack dab in the middle. I know some other people watch from other states, but we were smack dab in the middle of the power outages and the just severe icy weather. So, but we had power briefly, but we had no internet. So it's like I had one, but not the other. And so, but then it came on later in the night. So I was able to jump on and catch up a little bit before it decided to go back out. So, but I believe we're all back up and running. The businesses around my area, I'm in Northeast San Antonio, they're opened, but we're still under a boil water notice. So they can't serve us drinks, and there's limited menu items, but we're still thankful that the sun decided to come out yesterday. And honestly, I was looking at the temperature earlier. It is 70 degrees. Who would have knew that 2 days ago it had been below freezing forever? What seemed like ever since last Sunday, Monday, when it really started to get bad. And so, but we were prepared for it. You know, you make do with what you have. And for me, I can't get cold, but it was cold. But I keep hot hands and toe warmers and things like that. Darla, I know. I was just saying that. I'm like, earlier today, it was probably about an hour and a half ago, I clicked on the weather and it showed 70 degrees. And I was like, but you know what? That's Texas weather for you. Didn't we say a week ago that we were going to have our flip-flops and our scarves and our, you know, for all different seasons? And that's what we deal with here in Texas, and we're used to it, although we're not used to power going out and water getting cut off and the whole 9 yards. But we were just glad that we had a roof over our head, and that we were together as a family, and that we were duking this out. And hopefully the boys picked up on some stuff that we've been trying to tell them this whole time about trying to be prepared as much as possible as you can. So, but I missed being connected, for sure. I missed watching other people's videos. I hope you missed me, but I was looking forward to being here Sunday, just because I needed, I need to be able to communicate with people right now, because I was cooped up in my house with 2 teenage boys and my husband. But I love my husband, but when the power's out and everybody's bored, I wasn't bored. I was crafting right here by the window when the power was out, so that did not bother me. But of course, when there's no power, they can't play their game, so they were getting a little, you know, and then of course there's no fast food, you know, they're teenage boys. So, but thank you for joining me this afternoon. Hopefully we're going to get back to a normal, you know, a normal cadence of Facebook Lives. And let's see, I know I have a prize to give away, and our monthly host code is special, and then today's stamp that we're going to be doing. So let me go ahead and get this pointed down. And if you are, before I forget, because I seem to forget lately, because I don't have my list here in front of me to remind me of things I should be saying, but I just wanted to give a quick thank you to my YouTube audience. I never stop to give my YouTube audience a thank you, and I just want to thank you for subscribing to the channel and watching. I did have one of my readers, you know, was checking in on me because apparently our weather made national news, which I didn't realize that. Hi, Cindy. So that was kind of nice. And so I do have people that watch on YouTube as well. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for watching me. And I know you're not watching me live, but thank you for watching the replay on YouTube. And I hope that you're getting some inspiration. I hope you're getting some ideas, and you're learning how to use your Stampin' Up! Products, the ones that you bought that maybe you didn't quite know what to do with, or just plain getting inspiration and enjoying your time while you're watching me. So let's go ahead and get this pointed down. Thank you, Cindy, for sharing. And we'll go ahead and get started. Okay. Let me bring this up just a little bit. All right. So there's the monthly host information as well as the QR code. So if you don't want to fool with going to that website and plugging in that host code, you can always just scan that QR code while you're watching, and that'll take you straight to my website and plug in the host code for you. So the month of February, the monthly online ordering special, it does feature the Sweet Strawberry Bundle out of the January to June mini catalog. And when your order is $25 or more on my website, you're going to get a kit in order to make all 4 of these cards. So there's that one. There's that one. There's that one. It's 3 cards. There's envelopes. And then we made one of the treat boxes, which is a really large treat box. So you're going to get a kit. There's no stamping, but I'll do as much die cutting. And let's see, die cutting. Yeah, most of it's done, but you will have to have the stamps, or you can certainly substitute any other stamp that you might have, you know, birthday, whatever you have. So, but that's what the free kit in the mail for the month of February is. And this paper, actually this paper is a free paper that you can get during celebration, and it's part of the Berry Blessings bundle. So there's a sampling of all of the 12 by 12 paper that you'll get for free. And then there's the coordinating stamp set that goes with it, and you can get this free with a $100 purchase through the end of the month. So, and celebration is coming to an end, so if there is something that you need to order, let me put this aside here. You can choose any items from this particular small brochure. There's paper in there. There are stamp sets. There's another stamp set, more paper. I'm going to be doing a countdown on the last 5 days of celebration, but there's 2 more stamp sets. Corner Bouquet and Heal Your Heart. There's Flower and Field Designer Series paper. And then this one here, this Touch of Ink, and the Berry Blessings bundle. Those are both with a $100 purchase, free with a $100 purchase through the end of this month. And of course, when you host, there's also host rewards, and then there's also the join special as well. So when you purchase your own starter kit, you're going to get 5 packs of free 6x6 paper included in your kit. And I've got the paper right here. This is what the paper looks like. You're going to get 5 free packs of new designer series paper that's going to be in the next annual catalog. So this paper hasn't even been released yet. It'll be in the next annual catalog, and not the only people that can get it right now are the people that purchase their new demonstrator kits. Which, when we mean demonstrator, we're really just referring to, I'm going to take my jacket off because it's getting warm as I stood up. Whew, that was getting a little warm there. Let's see. Let's do a drawing. Let's do a drawing. Now let me explain for those maybe that are watching maybe for the first time. They get that glare off there. We'll do that. Okay. How do you get on the wheel? You get on the wheel by liking and commenting. And then if you share my video, you do have to type shared in the comments because I won't know if you did. But that gets you 2 entries onto the wheel. And last week, we featured the Butterfly Bouquet bundle. Actually, it was a whole collection. It's called the Butterfly Brilliance Collection. That's what it was. The whole thing was called. Which features one of the new collections coming up. It's a bundle, but right now it's a collection. And I say that because this cling stamp set and the coordinating dies. So if you missed it, go back and watch last week's video and you'll see all the fun stuff that's part of this collection. But this is one piece. It's one large stamp, basically. And you have coordinating dies. These were the detailed dies that I showed last week. But there also is, this is going to be in the next annual catalog, by the way. This will be, but the paper, which there's some 12 by 12 paper. This was the designer series paper, and it comes in 6 by 6. So this is what I showed last week. The paper, and then this is just a 6 by 6 cutting, but it does come in a 12 by 12, but it's like a natural design, what do they call this? I forgot what the name of it is, but it's like a natural, something natural, but it's a very soft, I guess it's designer series paper. I don't know. It's got a design to it. It's like a wood grain, and I know you can see that shimmer a little bit, and so you can see the texture in that paper. But that's also part of the collection as well. But this designer series paper and this particular paper is only while supplies last, through May 3rd. But customers will be able to order this beginning March 2nd. So right now it's only available to demonstrators as a pre-order item. And so if you want to get your hands on this early and access to the catalog early, the next annual catalog, let me know. and I will get you some more information on that and a link on where to go and purchase your kit. Okay, and let's see, let's go ahead and get this drawing out of the way. Oh, the cards. These were the cards that we did last week. And these are the ones that we're going to be giving away. So we did a happy birthday card, and then we did this thanks card. So let's give those away. Thank you for sharing, Stella. Cindy, I love the whole suite. Yeah, it's a really cute suite. Congratulations, Robin. I don't know if you're watching right now. I missed some of the I think I've missed some of the comments while I was looking down, but congratulations, Robin. You got a couple of samples. Let me get this out of the way here. And I have your mailing address. So I will get these to you in tomorrow's mail, okay? Congratulations, Robin. All right, now let's get started on the cards for today. Let me get this light out of my way a little bit. And today, we are going to be in our mini catalog on page 71. There is a stamp set called Treasures of Life, and it was designed by, let's see, Gail Murray, who is one of our $1 million sales achievers. Now, when you, hold on. Here we go. Okay, now I'm ready. When you, as a demonstrator, sell $1 million, I know that's kind of hard to believe, like, wow, $1 million. But when you sell $1 million in your career with Stampin' Up, you actually get to design your own stamp set. And Gail clearly is a grandma, so Gail designed and showcased her stamp set back several months ago when we were, I think it was on stage or backstage, I think it was on stage. But look at this stamp set. It's very, it's perfect for grandparents. And it's got these three kind of sketchy little pictures on there of a grandpa tying his granddaughter's scarf, presumably out in the snow or getting ready for the snow. And then you've got these hands, you've got this little kid's hands in the palm of one of the grandparents' hands with a little I love you in the center. And then you have a grandmother holding her grandbaby. And then you have these three sentiments. Grandchildren are the treasures of a long life. The joy of grandchildren is measured by the heart. Congratulations on your newest treasure. And the love only grows. So we're going to be making 3 cards today using this stamp set and 3 of the sentiments. And these are going to be really simple. Because I love the simplicity of this stamp set itself, just because of the sketchy. When you see sketching like that, there's cards that can just be stamped that way, and then this gives you an opportunity to also use our stamping blends, our watercolors, just different methods to getting color on here. So we're going to be using that, and then I also broke back out the Ornate Layers dies because we're going to be using one of the dies in one of the cards. So let's get started with our first card. Let me just set that right there. And we've got, let's see, we've got soft suede. We're working with soft suede. Our soft suede base, so we're just gonna fold that in half, get a crease going there. And then I have 2 sheets of Very Vanilla. I wanted it to be a little bit toned down, so the larger sheet, which is 4 by 5 1/4, is going to go on the inside. So if you were making this card and you wanted to stamp something on the inside, now would be the time to stamp it before you actually put it on. So, but I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside. I'm just going to put this down. Let's go. All the work is going to be on the front. Okay, so let's get that centered. Okay, and then we have a basic black mat that is 4 by 5 1/4. That's standard for our mats. Okay, and we're going to put that on the front. Okay. And then this piece right here is the next quarter size down. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. And this is what we're going to be stamping on and blending on as well. I think one of my lights just went out. That light always seems to go out when I'm live. Let me push this back, since that one's not working, and I'll bring the other one in here. Here we go. Okay, so what we're going to be doing with this one is we're going to be using one of our blending brushes. And I didn't want to use soft suede, but I broke out crumb cake because it's kind of like the next, what am I trying to say? The next shade, I guess you could say, down from soft suede. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up our ink pad, and I'm just going to dip that in there and then just blend all the way around, because I want it to look like what is it? It's like a sepia tone. Is that what they call it? It's like a sepia tone. But I want to do all the way around. I'm trying not to get it too dark, because I want to show like a shadow all the way around. And of course, the longer and the harder that you blend, you'll start to see it getting darker. I'm trying not to get big blobs of it on there, because that's real easy to do when you're doing this. So I'm just trying to create, I think last night when I was doing that card, I just kept going round and round and round, and I'm like, it's not getting darker, but I don't want it to be so dark that it just... So depending on how dark you want the outside to be, you just keep going over it. Just keep going over it. Wow, somebody really wants to go fast. I don't know if y'all can hear that car out there. Never quite understood why people feel like it's really necessary to like really press on the gas like that and just be loud and obnoxious. That's annoying to me. I guess I could get it if something was wrong with your car, but I don't think anything's wrong with the cars. I think it's just people want to be heard with their loud cars, and I don't want to hear it. Especially if I'm in here trying to watch something. So you can see as I'm going around it, it's kind of getting darker around the edge, and that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted, was to get it where it looks like a shadow all the way around. So obviously the darker your ink, the darker it's going to appear, and the more that you put on there and the more you keep doing it, it's going to gradually get darker. But we can move on. We're done with that. We're done with that one. So now what we want to do is we want to stamp it with our Memento ink. And we're stamping it in Memento because we're going to be using our blends, our alcohol blends. Okay. So let's put this one down right here. Give that a little pressure. And then we'll go ahead and stamp our sentiment off to the side. Okay, I think that's straight. Yeah. Okay, and then for the skin tone, let me show you something here. See if I can pull it out here. Well, somewhere my skin tone thing is missing. Oh no, here it is. Y'all might have seen me pull this out before, but we have stamping blends that are really for all different kinds of skin tones, depending on which skin tone you're trying to go for. Okay, all the way from light petal pink, dark petal pink, crumb cake, light and dark crumb cake, light and dark soft suede. We also have light and dark cinnamon cider. And then the one I'm going to be using today is ivory, in order to get it to be kind of that skin tone, but I'm not actually going to color the whole thing in. I'm just going to go along the little sketch lines. And then there's also a bronze that goes with the ivory. So let's take our ivory, and we're going to be using the brush tip. Let me see if I can get down here and color this, but all I'm doing is going along with the sketchy lines. Wherever I see little sketchy lines, I'm just trying to get like a shadow, I guess, but I want a little bit of color, but I don't want to color the whole thing. So anywhere where I see these little sketchy lines, we're gonna put some color on there. And of course, if you need to go back and make it darker in some of the areas, you can always go back and make it darker just by going back over it again. So these sketches in these stamps really do help when it comes to giving you a guide as to what to color. Yeah. Just go back over it anywhere you want to go back over, make it a little darker, add a little bit more color. I got a hair tickling my face. It was tickling my nose. Okay. Okay, and now when you're happy with the color, which I'm happy with that, once again, that was the ivory. But I also wanted to color the heart. You can certainly leave the heart, you know, just not colored. But I went ahead and took Light Poppy Parade, because it was light enough that if I colored it, it didn't color out the part that says I love you. You can clearly see that I love you through Poppy, the Light Poppy Parade. Okay. And when you are using our blends, now you can see how it bled through. So you do want to make sure that whatever you have underneath protects your table that you're working on. Okay, and then we're just going to center that right in the middle of that basic black mat. So there you have it. There's card number 1. This is the one that I did as a sample. And then there's the inside that's blank, and then this is the one that we just did. Very nice, very simple. This would be what we call simple stamping, because there's just paper, inks, and stamps. What do you think? Nice and easy. Okay, so let's put that one aside, and I had to turn my heater off. It's getting warm. Whew. I had to turn my fan on low. I started getting warm standing up there, you guys. Okay, so now we're going to do card number 2. We're going to step it up just a little bit. And the first thing I'm going to do on here is the ribbon, and I'll show you why. But there's the outside. I didn't put the sentiment on the outside. I decided on this one, I didn't want to cover up the grandma holding her baby. I wanted that to be the focal point in the card. So what I ended up doing is leaving that on the front, and then I just stamped the sentiment on the inside. Congratulations on your newest little treasure. So I just did a little different, but let's get started on that one. And I'm going to bring this out as a piece of scratch paper. And we're going to be working with the metallic edge ribbon in silver. So I know you've probably seen us with the crinkled seam binding ribbon. Archie's going to start yelling, you guys. But I know you've seen me do this with the crinkled seam binding ribbon, but with this particular ribbon, you can use our blends to make any color ribbon that you want. And I didn't want to just use this, white ribbon on this card, so I went ahead and took the Misty Moonlight Stampin' blend, and I'm going to be coloring the ribbon. I'm just using sort of long, even strokes. The longer you can leave it in there and get it, the more even it will show. And depending on how many times you go over it, I'm just going over it one time, and I'm not even touching the silver part. I'm just coloring the white part because I want that to be this Misty Moonlight color. And I'm doing this first because it does take just a few moments. Let me move that out of the way before I get ink all over that one. It does take a few moments for it to dry. Okay. And I'm just doing enough for the 2 pieces. Archie. Y'all, when he yells like that, he's trying to get Chris's attention. And sometimes he succeeds. Okay, I think this is the last piece I'm going to do. So if you're not finding a ribbon in your color, you can always get your metallic edge ribbon or your the white crinkled seam binding ribbon and just color it. Okay, so while this is off to the side drying, it's going to dry a little hard once that ink starts to dry. Move that off to the side. And I went ahead and scored my base. I'm not sure why, but oh well. But we're using a Misty Moonlight base on this card. And then I've got 2 pieces. I'm using, this is, what is this? What is this? Smoky Slate. I get this one mixed up with Gray Granite, but we're using Smoky Slate. And this one's going on the inside. And there again, if you have something that you're going to be stamping on the inside, definitely stamp that before you put it down inside your card. Okay, so we'll get that one out of the way. Now on this card right here, when I did this sample, I did distress around the edge, but after I looked at this, I was like, I really probably should have embossed this piece of paper. So that's what I did on the sample that I'm going to be making. This one doesn't show it, but that's what I did. I took the textile 3D embossing folder. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a little bit of embossing going on there. And then I've got one of the, where'd it go? I was looking for my ink. Anyway, I have a sponge dauber, and what I did is, I'm missing, oh here it is, my smoky slate. So I open that there. I took my smoky slate with my dauber on the edge and literally just distressed the edge of it a little bit. I'm not gonna get it like too dark. I just want some kind of color to show up around the edge, just to help complement that basic black ornate mat that's going to be on there. So if you want to step up your card just a little bit, with any card really that you make, typically embossing your paper will do the trick. And we have so many embossing folders to choose from. Okay, so however dark, I know some people like to do it really, really dark, but I like just a hint when I do mine. It's very rare that you'll see me do it like crazy dark and get ink all over the paper. Okay, and these fit perfect around your fingers. They really do. It's the perfect little finger tool there. Okay, so I think that's good. And I think I'm done. No, I'm not done with that. Not done with that yet. Okay, so now that I have some of the ribbon that's dry, now you can see it, well, I can feel it, but it's really dry. I'm going to put some on the back. I'm going to stretch a piece across. So we can cut that off. So we're going to stretch a piece across the front. And then you just want to make sure that when you flip it over around the back, that it catches on to the adhesive. Okay. So now let's finish putting adhesive around the edge. So we can put this on our card. If you're joining me after, if you're joining me after I got started, thank you for joining me. I hope you grandmas out there and grandpas, if you're watching, are enjoying this particular stamp set. Okay. So now we have that on there. And then this is one of the ornate layer dies. Let me see if I can get this right. Ornate layers dies. So I liked that one. We're going to put that one down, but before I put that one down, let's go ahead and do our stamping. And we're going to be stamping once again in Memento Ink. And we've got the grandma holding her baby, her grandbaby. Okay. And then I have the Misty Moonlight blend. I'm going to use the same blend that I used for the ribbon. And this one I am going to color her blouse. So I don't have to follow any lines other than the outside lines. Let's see. I'm doing this, I'm standing up. But you could certainly, if you find that it's too dark in some of the areas, we have a color lifter where you can go back. I'm gonna use the color lifter just to show you. Get that down there. Okay. It's gonna dry. It'll start to dry a little. You'll just see it start to dry. Where's my color lifter? The color lifter has a white. It looks white, but it's not. It's called the color lifter. But basically, you can take your color lifter and wherever you want to lighten it up, just lighten it up. And it really does take, it looks like it's getting wet, but it really is taking some of that blue off. And it doesn't transfer to the little brush, so you don't have to worry about really wiping it off. That's real wet. Okay? And let's see, what else we got here? Close that. I decided to use the light smoky slate for her hair. So let me color her hair. Okay. And depending on how light or dark you want it, you can always go back over. And then for the skin tone, I'm just going to continue to use ivory since I have it right here. And we're going to color baby's face and then grandma's hands right here. I don't know why that one seems darker than the one I did last night. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with just dressing around the edge with this one. So just take your dauber and just dress around the edge. And you guys, I'm not looking at the comments right now, but if I missed you, I'll go back when I look at the comments after the video. Okay, just a little bit, not too much. Okay, let me close that. We're going to get some adhesive on the back of this. Yes, those bleed through. And the darker and the more you color, the more it bleeds through. And then we're just going to put this one in the center. Forgot to do a measurement on that one. This little piece in the center is 2 inches by 3 1/4. Smoky slate. Okay. And then on the back, I'm just going to use, because I have like a gajillion of these mini black Stampin' dimensionals, I'm going to put these mini ones on the back. Okay. Get those off. And then when we put this on the front, we're just going to put it on the side a little bit, more to the left side, so that you can see a little bit of that ribbon on there, but mainly so that I have plenty of room to put the ribbon on the other side. Okay, so I have plenty of ribbon to work with over here. Okay, I'm just going to do the whole thing and then I can cut it down. This is a really big piece of ribbon, but let's see. I'm going to tie it and then I can adjust it and then tighten it that way. There we go. Tighten it. You can always adjust the loops and then retighten it however you need to. Let's see here. Ooh, there we go. Let me cut this piece off. Then I have this long piece left over that I can use for something else. Okay, so we're just putting a ribbon on the side of the card. And then there is card number 2. That's the sample that I did, and then that's the one that we just did. Nice and easy. Just stepped it up a little bit with one of the Ornate Layers dies. What do you think? Thank you, Marianne, for sharing. Okay, so let me put this one off to the side, and let's do our last one. We're going to be using, okay, so the sample I did, I'm going to change it a little bit. So this is like super, super simple. And I'm adding a matte layer to it. So we've got our crumb cake. We're working with crumb cake with this one, because I think that the chalk marker that I'm going to be using does really, really well. It makes it look like snow. So, but for this sample that I'm doing here, I decided to add a layer to it just so that you could see the difference in what it would look like when it's tone on tone versus a different color matte. Okay, so let's put this piece of Misty Moonlight. This is Misty Moonlight. Let's put that down. Okay, and then this piece of crumb cake, we're going to be stamping on this one. Okay, so we're going to be stamping in Memento Ink. And I've got the grandpa and the little girl. Make sure there's good ink on that one. And then we're going to put this one right about here, because you want to leave enough room for your sentiment at the bottom. Okay, got that one. And then grandchildren are the treasures of a long life. We're going to put that one right here. I think I left enough room. I did. Okay. And then we've got Misty Moonlight again. So we're going to color Grandpa's jacket. So let me get this colored in. Just take a step back and make sure I'm getting nothing but the jacket here. But of course this could be any color. But I thought Grandpa would look good in a jean jacket. Okay, I think that's all for that one. And then we're going to give him some light smoky slate hair too. So let's color in his hair. Okay, and then what did I do? Oh, I also did his jeans the same color. Now, I am blending on crumb cake, so the colors look a little different on crumb cake as opposed to if I had done them on, you know, white or very vanilla. But I like the way all the colors kind of went well with each other, so we're going with that one. And then I also have Light Mossy Meadow, and I'm just using Light Mossy Meadow to color his scarf. That down there. Okay. And what else? We need to color his boots. So with his boots, I'm going to use dark smoky slate instead of the light one, just so that they're a little darker, but not completely black like I did on that one, because I pulled the wrong marker when I did that one. And if you want them darker, just keep going over it, and it'll get darker. You can let it dry and then go back if you wanted to. So I might do that once I finish coloring the little girl. Now for her, I decided to bring out the posy, the light and the dark purple posy. Get the right one there. So we're going to color her little hat with the light one, her hat, and her scarf. Okay. And then with the dark one, I'm going to color her clothes. Yeah, go ahead and do her. Go ahead and do her pants too at the same time. So this little girl is all decked out with some purple today. Okay, and let's, maybe I did the light one there too. I'll just keep it light. Yeah, she's really matching. She is purple from head to toe. And I didn't do anything with the skin tones just because it's crumb cake. And I felt the crumb cake would be skin tone enough for that one. So, but the other thing I am going to do is we have a Stampin' chalk marker. And you can use this to help represent the snow. So you could certainly leave the card alone like this, but what I'm doing is just kind of tapping it here and there, and the ink, the chalk ink, is just coming out, and I'm just kind of replicating like it's snowing. And this looks really, really good on crumb cake. And it's not too dark. And then all I did here is these little black lines. And I even added some off to the side. Make it look like they're standing in snow. I think the last time that I used this, it was back when I did the Life is Beautiful stamp set. The winter scene. Okay, and so depending on how much snow you want falling, you just keep dabbing, dabbing, dabbing. But I think that's enough snow for this one. Okay, and now we can put this piece on. With our mat. This just gives it a little bit color. This would have looked good. This would have looked good with Mossy Meadow too. Ooh, but I've already put that piece down. I don't know. I kind of like Mossy Meadow now that I'm thinking about it, just to help complement Grandpa's scarf, but we'll leave it like this. There we go. So let me move all these off to the side. So that's the card that I did. There's no mat on this one. It's just strictly crumb cake on crumb cake with a little stamping and the chalk marker. And the one that I just did, I decided to add a mat to it just to give it a little bit of color. So obviously, depending on your preference, you know, you can no mat it or you can mat it. So we'll just show both of those. Thank you for the hearts. And let me bring the other cards back. So there was card number 1. And then there's card number 2. I'll go ahead and show both of those. But tell me if you like that. I actually like it. You know, I'm not a grandparent, but I really did like the stamp set. You like it matted, Darla? Yeah. It does make a difference. Although I would love to see what it looks like with Mossy Meadow. I was trying to keep all the colors about the same with what I was doing. So the less product that I have here, the less confusing it gets when I'm sitting here doing these cards. So let's see. I'm gonna flip this back around. Have to make sure that there's not a cat sitting in my chair when I turn around, because that's happened a time. So thank you, Stella. You could double mat it. Yeah, that is the joy with Stampin' Up. Hi, Bonnie. Is there's just so many endless possibilities of things that you can do. And where do you begin? I mean, there's just so many ways that you can do so many different things. And so it all comes down to personal preference and the materials that you have on hand. And then, of course, if you have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator to help you with those decisions, that is always helpful too. So, but thank you all for joining me this afternoon. Let's see, Wednesday night, as long as we have internet and power, hi Jessica, then you will see me Wednesday night at 7 in order to do the next 12 by 12 layout. Otherwise, you are always welcome to join me next Sunday at 3 p.m. and we'll see what we got going this next week, okay? So you guys have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon and your evening, and stay safe, and we'll talk to you later.